Good morning, gentlemen and women. Right, today we are working on the pots, and also we've had a bit of a tidy up. Let's have a look. So the geyser is back to normal. This was completely full of all the parts, and I have moved them from there and I have stuck them on here, so everything is in one place. And also took down the shelf, which I need to fill out the holes. We had the shelf that came out here that the camera sat on, so now I have to use the tripod. But I just wanted to have the shelf gone so that when I'm working on the boil, I'm not bumping into the shelf. So the shelf has gone. Next weekend or sometime next week, the work is going to start on the bench. So all that wood frame is going to be removed, the worktop's going to be removed, and we're going to have a frame there. I'm going to put a supporting batten on the wall there for the new bench top, and then I'm going to run it across here to this wall and do the same there. So it's going to be a full wall to wall 3/4 inch ply that's going to be glossed and varnished for the pots to sit on, and I can have it a little bit lower because we've got space here, so I can have it a little bit lower, and then we can start mounting the pumps where we want them and start rocking and rolling. But that's how she's gonna look. I've started to put in the HLT the thermowell fittings. We've actually just put in the recirculation port for the HLT, but we're going to see if this makes a better Whirpool than this. But I think that's going to be okay. We need to fit that as well today, and I'm thinking somewhere in this region I want to sort of miss this probe in here, and obviously the trub dam, which will be down on the bottom. So if I go in between them, somewhere in this region here, then everything's going to be two-handed in the same area, but not be getting in the way, because I'm going to have a ball valve on here, obviously stuck out. So we've got to put that in, and we've also got to put in the sight glass, which we've got for the boil pot. We've got to put one in for the HLT, and I've already measured it out somewhere in that region. So it's going to go in between the tap and the recirc. It's just going to drop down here, so I can see what level we've got instead of having it around this side. So that's what we're doing today. So hopefully this tripod's working alright there, because I did have it all set up on the shelf on a block of wood, and I just came in and put the camera on there, and that's what has given you the height and the view, but shouldn't be much difference. And I'm still very pleased that I've got the GoPro, the new GoPro. I think the footage on it is really good. Leaps and bounds above the first one I had, and the audio is not horrendous. I know there is a difference between this camera and then when we go onto the GoPro, there is a difference in sound, but overall you get the picture of what I'm saying, and it's pretty clear. But the video quality on this is really good, and it means I can capture everything when I'm working. The batteries though are terrible, but I need to get some more of them, and then we'll be fine. I'm really pleased with how things are coming along as well, and seeing everything in place here is spurring me on a little bit now. We're nearly there.
Female Cocker Spaniels. Pop this here. Have a slurp of gin. Oh, my hay fever's kicking off today, and I've got terrible toothache. I've actually got a frigging hole in my wisdom tooth that I've had to fill myself with some emergency filler, polyfiller. Not when it's coming out on Tuesday, which is going to be nice. Anyway, let's get the sight glass fitted in the HLT. Now, I think there looks pretty good, sort of in between the signage of the SS BrewTech and the recirculation, and I can see everything. So I think there be perfect, somewhere around there. Paul, god damn your kids. Oopsie. Right. Yep. Oops. Yep. Trusty step bed. Take this off here. I've actually cleaned this up with some bloody nail polish remover because he stuck it to the card with the parcel tape, and it was an absolute swine getting that off of there. So, you know, okay. Okay. Just checking, I know it's not big enough yet, but just checking. Just checking it out. A tiny bit more. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right. Pediatricity. Excellent. Right, is the other bit? Where's the other bit? Where be they? I've seen you. Where are you? Where are you there? Right, I have cut the pap off. So cut the pap off. And I've also drilled the hole up there for the eye bolt, so it can all go together now. Pretty well. Obviously, I'll tighten everything down proper on everything before we get using it, but it's like a dry mock-up, isn't it? Like a dry mock-up. Voila! So the only thing else we need to get into here is the herms, which I'm thinking of having the ports on the other side of the recirculation port. Everything's going to be in this area, so I don't really want anything around this side because it's going to be a pain to start hooking hoses on around this side. I'd like everything here, so we're just hooking stuff on here. And I'm thinking the same with the boil pot. I mean, the only thing I need to put on the boil pot now is this Whirpool fitting, and I'm thinking if I have it round here, then when I'm whirlpooling, I'm going to have a hose coming out down to the pump, and then it's going to cross hoses to get over here and look a little bit messy. So if I put it here, then hose is going to drop down and come straight up, and I'm wondering where to stick it. Right, she's finished apart from the Herms coil. Now for the Whirpool fitting, so I'm going to go with it on this side, and I'm not crossing any hoses over here. It'll make it a little bit neater, and it'll look the same as the HLT, so everything will be on this side and everything will be on this side. And I want to miss the trub dam, obviously won't be going that low with it. I want to try and miss the thermal well, and I don't really want it higher than the thermal well, because then I'm getting a little bit too high to the pot, I think. My batch volumes that I'm brewing are 26 litres, just over 26 litres, 27 litres. So half of 26 is 13, so if I go 15 just off of this marking here, I'll be missing the elements, and it's 10.5 inches. The 15 litre mark in the pot is 10.5 inches from the top of the pot, which is roughly there, so I'll be missing the thermal well, and I'm somewhere in the middle of the batch size, so I'm thinking there, somewhere in the middle of there, and on that line there, possibly there somewhere. Pencil! Pencil! Where are you? Show you the best. Show you the best. Little be I'm here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right. So I reckon about there. Right. Oh no! I cock it up. And that's it. So I think the boil pot's done, the mash tun is done, and we only need to fit the Herms coil into the HLT, and the pots are frigging done. So the next thing I need to do is complete the new bench, rip the old one out, put the new one in, just like this. You're saying I've done it. I tricketed you. Shelf for the pumps to be mounted on, and I made it high enough so you can get a bucket underneath it, and the worktop that goes from wall to wall. Now I'm going to tidy up the edges a bit with some more timber, which I'm going to attach some other bits and bobs to keep cables out of the way for the boil pot, HLT, etc. But that's it. She's in. She's done. Now I'm pleased that I've got on with this bench and that it's done, because
it was one of them jobs that wasn't really tinkering with pots and control panels, but it was a job like the hood that needed to be got out of the way so we can move on. I did actually get it past at this point. I had it varnished, but I think I varnished it way too thick, and I ended up coming in and it looked a mess. So I scraped all the varnish off last night, spent the entire night, scraped it all off, resanded it, and I've just done the final gloss coat again. And then tomorrow I'll start to varnish it nice and thin and build the layers up. But then we can get the pots in place for good, pretty much. And once they're in place, and I can start to plan what length of hose I need, what fittings I need for the pumps and the quick disconnects. And it's a bit difficult to do at the minute because everything's all over the place. So once they're in a row, I have a better idea then of what I need. Also, when that happens and I know where the pots are going to sit, I can cut the element cable to length, and I can wire them. I can wire the heating elements up at the heating elements end, and I can put the plugs on the other end and get them sort of set up, and it'll be like a job done, ready for when we actually start brewing. I've still got to do a little bit of drilling on the control panel, but it's nothing really. And of course, when Harry comes over, he'll bring his expertise, and we'll get this wired up. And don't think it's going to be too long before we're getting it wired up because I've got everything. We just need to fit it into our diaries, and then we'll get it wired up. But that's it. I think work on the Hermes coil. There's still bits and bobs to do, but they're all tiny little bits and bobs. Like I've got to drill and mount the heatsink to the top of the control panel, and then when I've done that, I can attach the solid state relays to the heatsink and get them jobs out of the way, so that when Harry comes, we're not wasting time doing that. It'll be done. We can just get it wired up. But that's it, fellas, for another video. So as always, don't forget to put much better because you want to. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Click it once to the video to see. Until next time, I'm out of here.